Hello everyone and welcome to this Minecraft tutorial. In today's video we'll be looking at creating this western themed water tower. You'll want to mark out an area of 15 blocks by 15 blocks for the build, and this is to ensure you have enough space for the walkway going around the water tower. These are the materials you will be using for this build, and as always you will have some placeholder blocks left over at the end. Now let's get building. So the first thing that we're going to work on is the legs of the water tower. So you want to take your spruce logs and you want to count in 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Then count out 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks again. Place down one of your spruce logs, count 1, 2, 3, 4, another log, 1, 2, 3, 4, another log. Do the same over here, 1, 2, 3, log, 1, 2, 3, log. And then over this side we can just match up with the first row we placed. And we can line up the centre just like that. So these are going to act as the legs of the water tower. Now what you want to do next is you want to build each one of these up 9 blocks tall. So once you have all of your legs 9 blocks high, what you want to do is come in next and count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. Then taking the spruce logs you want to build horizontally. So you get the log going in that direction compared to the vertical way it will be going for your legs. And you simply want to join up all of your legs with this horizontal block. So once you're finished, your legs should be all joined in the middle just like that. Next up, for a little bit of detail, we're going to take a stone button and we're simply just going to place it on the middle supporting leg around all the sides. Just so it looks like this horizontal beam is attached nice and securely to our vertical beam here in the middle. So next up we're going to add a little bit of detail to make our legs look a lot more secure. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take some spruce trapdoors and I'm just going to take a random building block and I'm going to stack up 2 high with these. Crouch down while holding our spruce trapdoors. Over on this left hand side I'm going to place 2 trapdoors on top of each other. Then I'm going to do 3 on top of each other in the centre. Then 4 on top of each other right beside our middle log. Flip our topmost trapdoors up. Then remove all the extra ones. We should have that little diagonal pattern. Then on the opposite side from that, I'm going to build 2 up again with some random blocks. I'm going to place 2 trapdoors on top of each other over on the right hand side, 3 again in the middle, and this time I'm going to do 4 over here. Just so we're basically mirroring this sort of cross diagonal design that we're getting on both sides. And once again, you want to go around the other 3 sides of the water fountain and add this exact same design on each of those sides. So when you're finished, the bottom of the leg should be looking like this. So now that we have the supports at the bottom of our water tower, we're going to continue this design up at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build up again with some temporary blocks here. I'm going to place 1 trapdoor here, 2 in the centre, and then 3 at the left hand side here. Flip up our topmost trapdoors, then as we come down, you'll be able to see this diagonal pattern starting to form. Then we also want to do that over at this side, of course. So 1 trapdoor here, 2 trapdoors here, and 3 trapdoors in this side here. Then flip them up. And there you can see the finished supports going in that cross diagonal pattern just like that. And of course again, we want to add them to the top around the other 3 sides. So once you've added in your final trapdoor supports to the top, your legs should be looking like this. And the last little thing we need to do for the base of the water tower is add a ladder to get up to the walkway area. So I'm going to have this side over here be the front, just so I can look over this little western area. But whatever side you want to be, and whatever side you want the ladder on, it's completely up to yourself. All you need to do is just build up to the top with your ladders, just so we have a nice easy way to get up onto the walkway when we build that next. So to make it a little bit easier for us to build the walkway, we're simply going to outline the tank of the water tower. So to do this, we're going to take our stripped oak logs that we'll be using for the water tower itself, and we're going to simply place a block on top of the middle pillar here, then come out by another block, remove this first temporary block, and at either side you want to come out an additional 2 blocks. So you should have this little shape, and you want to repeat that on the other 3 sides. So once you've added your temporary outlines, you should have this little pattern forming. Then the final thing we need to do is join up our middle sections in the corners, and we're going to be using a little diagonal shape. So if we simply come out from this block, then come in towards our corner pillar, come out again and back in, then remove these two temporary blocks, you should see this nice diagonal pattern start to form behind our corner pillar, and you want to do this again at the other three sides. So once you've joined up all your middle sections with the corners, the outline of your water tank should look like this. So now it's time to start working on our walkway. So the first thing we're going to do is, in these middle sections that we outlined, we're going to take our spruce slabs and we're going to build out from this by 2 blocks. Then at this corner block here, we're going to come out 3 blocks with our slabs, and make sure you do that at both sides. Then you want to repeat this design at the other 3 sections. So once you've done that, you should have this little design forming like this. Then all you need to do now is simply bring out your slabs so they join up in the corners, and then fill in the gaps, and make sure over at this side you don't accidentally block off your ladder. So now that we have the basic shape of our walkway finished, what we're going to do next is add some texture to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some oak slabs and some campfires, and I'm simply just going to go around the whole walkway and replace some of the spruce slabs with these blocks. And again, you can do as many or as little as you would like. So once you've mixed in your oak slabs and your campfires, the walkway should be looking something a little like this. So to finish up our walkway, we're just going to make it a little bit more safe for anybody that wants to walk around it by adding in a little security fence. So to do this, what we're going to do is come to each of the 4 corners, and we're going to place another slab on top of the first slab that's there. Then we're going to add a birch fence on top. Then once we have our fences in all 4 of the corners, we're going to take some birch fence gates, and we're just going to add them all the way along, connecting up the fences in the corners. So once you've added the fences to the corners and the fence gates going all the way around, your walkway should be looking a lot more secure for people to walk across. We're going to fill in the gap underneath where our water tank is going to go, and this is just going to make sure that none of the water escapes. So what you want to do is, taking your spruce slabs, you simply want to place your slab at the top of one of your pillars in the centre here, and then just build out, filling in this entire area with your slabs. So once you've filled in the gap, it should look a little bit like this. So now it's time to get started on the water tank itself. So the first thing that we're going to do is, in each of the 4 sides of our water tank, we're going to remove our middle outline block. Then we're going to place 5 oak planks going up vertically. Next up, taking our pistons, we're going to add a layer of pistons all along the top of our stripped oak logs. So the best and easiest way to do this is if you come onto the block and just jump up and place a piston under your feet. That'll make sure that it's pointing up, and that's the direction you want the piston to be facing. Once you have your layer of pistons, you're going to switch back to your oak planks, and you're going to add a layer of oak planks just on top of your pistons. So you should start to see this shape forming. So next up, we're going to add the top layer of the water tank, and this bit's going to be a little bit more tricky just because we want to have all the blocks up at the top facing a certain direction. So the way I like to do this is, if you just start anywhere, taking your stripped oak logs, I would place 2 blocks so you make sure that they're going up vertically, just like that. Then switch back to your pistons, remove the first block just above your oak planks, then looking up at your stripped logs, you want to place your piston so that it's facing in a down direction, just like that. So the design for your water tank, it should be stripped oak log at the bottom, piston facing up, oak plank, piston facing down, and then a stripped oak log up at the top going vertically, just like that. So once you've added your pistons facing down and your stripped oak logs up at the top, just like that, the final thing we need to do to finish our water tank is come underneath, and all of these temporary outline blocks that you've placed, you want to make sure you swap these out with our stripped oak logs, and make sure that these are also going in a vertical pattern. So this is just the easiest way to do it, is if you come underneath, look up, and you can place them. So once you've fixed the logs at the bottom, this is how the water tank should be looking. So the final thing that we need to do for our water tank is put a roof on it. So the way I'm going to do this is, I'm going to place a temporary stair block here, then come out with our stairs again, remove this temporary block, then with our stairs I'm going to build all the way around the outside of the water tank until we meet back up with this stair. So once you've finished the first section of stairs, your roof should be looking like this. And now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to repeat this design another 2 times. But each time I'm going to go in a block and up a block, just like that. so we start to see a nice cone shape of a roof. So once you've added those two additional layers of your stairs, your roof should be looking something a little bit like this. Next up, before I continue building out the roof for the stairs, what I'm going to do is taking our black stone slabs, I'm going to place a temporary block here and then just fill over this gap with a slab, and you want to make sure you do this at all four sides of the roof. So it should look just like this. Then taking our stairs, what I'm going to do again is just going to place a temporary stair here. Then I'm going to build all the way across, going around the inside with our stairs, just like we've been doing. So what I'm going to do to fill in this little cross shape is I'm going to place a temporary slab here, then I'm going to cover up each of the four corners with our slabs, just like we've done previously. So we should be left with this one hole in the middle, then taking our slabs once more, fill in the middle, but add in a little bit extra at the top, just so we get that nice little spike. You can start to see the sort of cone shape of the roof going all the way up into the centre. So all we have left to do is add in our final little bits of details. So the first thing I'm going to do is at the front of my water tower, I'm simply going to spell out the word water with these banners, and you can find a link to these designs in the description down below. So next up, I'm going to add some lighting. So at each of the four sides of the water tank, just at the roof, I'm just going to add these little hanging lanterns. Just that way, if we're up here at night time, we can see, and if we're far away, we'll be able to see it lit up at night time as well, just make it look a lot nicer. Now, being underneath our water tank here at the bottom, we might run into the issue where mobs are spawning. So what I'm going to do is in each of our middle pillars, I'm going to add some iron bars, and then I'm going to hang some lanterns for them. So this will help just reduce the amount of spawns in this section here. Next up, I'm going to take some water and I'm going to add a layer of water on the inside. You could leave it empty if you want, if that's easier for you, or you could add in as much water as you want. You could fill it up, it's entirely up to yourself. So if you're one of the people that did fill in your water tank with some actual water, you'll start to notice these little drips coming through our slab floor. So what I'm going to do next is, because I've built this up on some terracotta, I'm going to take some grey terracotta and brown terracotta, and basically just make it look like a lot of the water soaked into the ground and made it turn sort of really dark and dirty. Now if you build your water tower on top of grass, mixing in some dirt and some pozzo and some path blocks can help just give it a little bit more detail as well, and it really does add just a little bit more life to the build, just making the sort of water damage look a bit more real. And there we have it, your very own western themed water tower. I decided to incorporate pistons into the design because in most of the western themed water tanks, they're usually made up of wood with some metal bars going around the outside to keep the wood nice and secure together, and I felt like the texture of the pistons made this the best block for the choice, especially because they have the wood texture up at the top. It helps blend in with our oak planks a lot more as well. If you did want to mix up the build, however, you could look at swapping out the roof with stone or andesite, and this would give it more of a natural metal look. Or you could even look at swapping out our trapdoor supports with something like stairs, and because they're a lot thicker, they might look a little bit more secure for your build. Thank you very much for watching as always. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more Minecraft content in the future, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!